everybody, how are y'all doing? I am sorry I didn't be able to do this yesterday when we usually do Sunday afternoons, but I had a wonderful birthday. It was actually a parade for my 8-year-old granddaughter. It was a parade to drive by her house. There were about 30 cars. It was amazing. And then we, as grandparents, went in and had pie, birthday. She didn't want cake, so we had birthday pie. And that was all happening right at 3 o'clock. So I just opted to try a weekday this time. I know it's probably not going to work a lot, especially after isolation's over. But I thought rather than just skip it, I'd try and see if anybody was available today. So let me see. There's a few of you here now. Hi, Sally. Nice to see you. Sally's in the UK. Anne, nice to see you from Oregon. Hi, Teresa. Good to see you again. Beach Baby, same with you. Good to see you again. And Dot Z. Yeah, I'm so sorry, Dot, I wasn't able to come on, but it was for a good reason. My sweet little granddaughter turned 8. And if you watch one of this week's videos, I have a video of her in the little romper that I made, one of the little rompers I made for her birthday, and she did a little TikTok thing in it, and they sent me the video this morning, so I asked my daughter if it was okay if I put it in my videos. So watch this week and you'll see my sweet little Ada. But yeah, I'm making a video, this probably going up tomorrow or Wednesday, called Not For Me Made May. Because as I think I've said before, we have, let's see, my daughter's on May 3rd, my husband's on May 6th. I have one granddaughter on May 12th, one granddaughter on May 18th. Got Mother's Day thrown in there as well, and then the next one is my grandson, who's in early June. So it is crazy, and so I'm sewing just as if it were Christmas right now. So there's no time for me made May. I just have to do not for me made May, and that's just how it is. And I just embrace it. Last year I kind of did a similar thing, but yeah, that's just how I had to do it. Hi, Dottie. Nice to see you. Deborah. Nice to see you from Pennsylvania. Hi, Lisa. Dorothy. Hi to all of you guys. Hi, Sally. I think I already said hello to you. Sorry about that. It's weird to be live. It's a little daunting. I never watch them back because I'm so afraid I'll cringe. Yeah, it's different to be live, but it's been really fun, and it's just you just have to be yourself sometimes. And I think that I've gotten to know a lot of you a lot better. And one thing I really want to do is understand what you guys want and need, because that will make ultimately me more successful, and it'll give you guys what you need. So chatting with you guys is one really good way to kind of take the pulse and see what it is that you guys are looking for. So one of the things last time we chatted about was favorite online fabric stores. So I'm working on a video right now. I don't know if it'll be this week or next, but it'll be my top 10 online fabric stores. So be watching for that. And oh, thank you, Deborah. This is a dress, actually, and I made it about 4 years ago. Do you remember Hancock Fabrics? I don't know if they were out of the country, but they were a huge fabric store, and they all went bankrupt. So this was from Hancock. I loved Hancock. We had one right here in our little town, and yeah, it was a very faithful customer. So it was really sad to me when they closed up. But I bought this fabric there, and this is a McCall pattern that I think is retired, but it's an oldie but goodie. Hi, Heidi. Nice to see you. Hi, Anna. Isn't it strange that we can chat at the same time across the pond? Yes, Sally, it is. It's crazy, awesome. I think it makes the world a whole lot smaller. And honestly, I don't know, in everyday life, do you guys have a lot of friends who sew? Because mostly I just have friends who want me to hem their pants. Truthfully, I don't have a lot of friends who sew except here. So, and of course, I've met some local people through here. I don't know if Kathy's on today. I don't see her yet, but she lives in a town right next to me, and we've been to coffee and stuff. So, it's neat how you just meet people. And Ivy's in Ohio, and write back and forth with her a lot, and we were making plans as soon as this craziness gets over with to go to the fabric warehouse together. So both of our husbands are musicians as well, so we'll go to do my usual trip. I think that I've told you guys about before. We go to Ligonier, Indiana to Zink's Fabric Outlet, and then we go to Sweetwater Music, which is in Fort Wayne. And they have literally, it's like a petting zoo for instruments. So my husband just, and I, because I do play, I'm a singer, but I also play keys. And so yeah, I go play every keyboard in the store, and there's literally a whole room of bass guitars, a whole room of electric guitars. So he's in heaven. I mean, we just spend hours there. So it's like hours in the fabric store, hours in the music store, a little lunch in between, and it's a wonderful day. Me too, Teresa. Teresa said YouTube is her sewing friends, and me too, and Instagram. Yeah, if it weren't for that, I don't know. We probably wouldn't know anybody who sewed really. A lot of my friends do quilt, but not that many sew. No local sewers here except my mom. Yeah. Yeah, that's my mother-in-law and sister-in-law both cross stitch, which is, sort of related, but it's more handwork. And I look at what they do, and I don't know, give me a machine, because I just don't have the patience for that. I've never been a knitter or crocheter, or just always just sewn. I think it's so much instant gratification. I think that's part of it. I like to be gratified right away. To work on something that takes months just drive me crazy. I don't know. Maybe that's just how I'm cut out. I don't know. Absolutely, YouTube. Anna says she doesn't have any photo buddies near her. YouTube is her only connection to other people that love sewing. Yeah, I'm in the same boat, really. I mean, other than a very, very few people. And most of them I met through YouTube. So, and I have friends all over the world. Just, you know, have to remember who I'm talking to in what time zone sometimes because that gets crazy. But it's just so wonderful to be able to have friends all over the world. And, especially in this crisis that we're in where it's affecting the entire world. And we're all probably in different stages of opening back up. If you guys are at all, we are a little here, but it makes me nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I want to open up. I want the businesses to be back, but I also don't want a big surge and go through it again. So I don't know. We've extended our circle little by little. So far, we've spent time only with our kids and our Kevin's brother or Kevin's sister and her husband. But for the most part, we've kept it there. But my daughter's done that circle with some other people, and so. And my son, he works at Home Depot, so he's out and about. He's an essential warehouse employee for Home Depot, so he's been around people since day one. So, but he's been super careful, and they've been wonderful. But I don't know. Like the more we enlarge our circle, the scarier it gets to me. I don't know. I don't mean to be scared because I know God will be in control, but it is just a little nerve wracking. Is anybody there with me on that? Makes me a little nervous that some people just want to like run around normal. um, yeah, it just makes me nervous. Hi, Patricia. Nice to see you on. I've loved for my daughter to sew, but she's a cross stitcher too. Maybe one day. Yeah, my daughter started sewing a little bit. Not for me though. I wanted to teach her, and she honestly just had no part of it when she was young, when she was a teenager. But when she got married, her mother-in-law taught her how. So go figure. But now she doesn't sew at all. She has 4 kids and she's homeschooling, so there's very little time there. But my middle granddaughter actually is very interested, and she, all of the kids are, but Naomi in particular is really, really interested in sewing. So we've been doing some, and I need to have her here for a day, and really teach her some things. I need to teach her how to go through a pattern because so far she's just kind of She calls it, can I free sew? Which means she takes my scraps and sews together things that go around dolls. And but that's how everybody starts. I mean, if you start when you're a child, that's how you start. But she's 10, and it's time she could really dig into a pattern and start learning some things. I actually let her use my rotary cutter the other day, which was a little nerve wracking. But I have the Kai that doesn't, the blade doesn't come out unless you push it down. This one, like when you go like this, it won't cut you at all. You have to press it down. So I figured that was pretty safe for a 10-year-old. I watched her real carefully and I gave her the speech on, making sure she didn't, get her fingers anywhere near it and keep it out of reach to her younger brothers and sisters. And she did great with it. So I think she's ready. Um, I think she's really ready to jump in. Let's see. Hi, Dolores. None of my friends apparel sew. One or two quilting friends. I count on you and a few other bloggers to relate to. Yep, same here. Good evening, everyone. Greetings from Yorkshire. Really lucky here as I have friends nearby that sew. That's awesome. As Instagram and YouTube as well. And Anne says, I'm with you. Trust God, but I don't want to be inside either. Yeah, I know. It's really tough. It's real, real tough. Lisa says she made 2 Melody Dolmans this week. The first one was a medium, was a little big in the neck and shoulder area. Second one made a small in the neck and shoulders, medium, hips and waist, and it fits perfect. Awesome. That I think with the Melody Dolman, I did my narrow shoulder adjustment. I think I made an extra large and did a large neckline, and it worked out really well for me. Let's see. I'm working from home and listening to you live at the same time. Uh-oh, cheater. No, I'm kidding. I will be your enabler. That's fine. um, Dot says, it's one of my regrets I didn't sew as much with my mom. Now retired, I have time. Yep, same here. Heidi says, snap Lisa. I have a melody on my cutting table. Cool. Patricia says, start your granddaughter with making a pillowcase. Actually, we've already done the pillowcase. I think I want to start her with maybe a laundry day tea, something, they have the little LDT for children. So I thought maybe I might start her with making a knit and see how she does. The only thing she's done so far is quilt cotton. So I think it would be really nice to start teaching her about the different properties of fabric and different stitches you use on which things. And so I thought I might start her on knits so she's not scared of them, because a lot of people grow up just sewing wovens and then they're really scared to jump into knits, and in reality they're just so easy. So I just don't want her to develop that fear of them. So I started on knits, believe it or not, when I was a kid. So I think maybe the little LDT might be the place to start with her. I don't. Plus, she'd probably really like it. Hide and silk. The skills we have are one of the few things we can pass on to the next generation. Amen to that. I think there is a lot of ease in the melody pattern. There is, but it's also kind of form fitting. So I think it's actually pretty true to size, maybe a little on the large side, but it's good because it has a nice full bust in that piece. And I don't have any of the gaping right here that I have on some patterns that I have to fix. As long as I make the right size, it fits really well. That's one of my favorite tops. I've only made one, but I'm going to make that robe soon out of the Melody Dome, and I'm just going to lengthen it and add a self belt, and I think it'd make an adorable summer robe. Do I have tips for sewing knits on a regular sewing machine? Yeah, I did it for years. I didn't have a serger until Hancock Fabrics closed. My husband bought me one from there as they were closing. Just a lot of people think you have to sew with a big zigzag, the seams, and that's not really what's needed. What's needed is a stitch that stretches. So as long as you have the zigzag wide enough that it'll stretch, you can almost imperceivably that it's a zigzag. Like I put mine at like 0.5 width, the zigzag, and it almost just looks like a straight stitch, but it's actually a zigzag, and it stretches a fair amount. I mean, the stretchier the fabric, the more wide you would want to make that, because it has to stretch. But I mean, I made bathing suits and everything before I had my serger, and I never had a problem doing it that way. And then any seam that's going the down your body where it doesn't have to stretch, those you can sew with a straight stitch. They're not going to be stretched. But the necklines, hems, sleeve insertions, sleeve hem, you're going to want to do some kind of a stretch stitch. I like the narrow zigzag more than I like the lightning bolt, just because the lightning bolt actually looks more like a zigzag when you're done. If you do a really, really narrow zigzag, you almost can't tell that it's a zigzag. And the other tip I would give you for hems is the twin needle. I use that just really consistently on my knit hems until I just got a cover stitch about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I don't know. We had our first chat. I had the cover stitch was brand new, and I had only used it like a little bit, and now it's getting to be really, really easy for me. I love it. But up until I bought that, I would just use a twin needle on my sewing machine. So lots of steam. When you make sure that you know that test it first so you don't ruin a garment. But steam will make knits behave in a way that you can almost foolproof do something. I mean, steam just hides a multitude of mistakes and oopses and crookedness or whatever. So hope that helps a little bit. Oh, also needle, make sure you use a ballpoint needle or stretch needle, because a regular needle will make you skip stitches, or it'll break, or it'll make your sewing machine misbehave on a knit. BMAC, hi there. Hello to you too. Can you discuss the panties you made? Which is your favorite pattern for panties? I've made actually 3 different patterns. One was the acacia from Megan Nielsen. I know it works for a lot of people. It didn't work for me. I made the Fierce Undies from Patterns for Pirates, and I love them. Love, love, love them. They have sort of in the back lining, they have sort of a, not back lining, in the back at the bum or butt area, they have a dip, so it goes under your, this is hard to describe, but it holds your cheeks in. It doesn't feel like everything's hanging out. It's got full coverage, and I really like that. So I love those. I usually make the mid-rise. I like high-rise, but I have a very short rise, so when I use a mid-rise, it's normally just about right for me. And I have not tried the Rebecca Page ones, but those look like they would be similar in that they would be really covering. The Ellie and Mac ones, as much as I want to love them because I love Ellie and Mac, I'm not crazy about that pattern. That's the one I made when we were sort of sewing along the other day. And I love Ellie and Mac. They make wonderful patterns, and I'm just a big fan. But I didn't care for that underwear pattern. It just didn't give me enough coverage in the behind. I mean, I love the pair that I made, but I probably won't make that one again. So hope that helped. Let's see. Did I have to add to the length of panties to reach your waist? No, I didn't. In fact, like I said, I just did mid-rise because I have a very short rise. Then there's another step was high rise, and they're really, really high rise. So I would just trust them. Both the Ellie and Mac and the Patterns for Pirates were like that. So I wish I didn't have to look at myself. Let's see. What's the difference? Okay, on the cover stitch. Hide and Silk wanted to know if it's worth the expense, and Anne wants to know what the difference between a cover stitch and a serger. Okay, first of all, I'll tell you what the difference is, and then I'll tell you whether it's worth the expense. Okay, so on a serger, you can sew seams, okay, but it either has to be an edge for like a rolled hem, or a very edge seams so that it cuts. Otherwise, there's no way to just sew in the middle of fabric, if that makes any sense. So the cover stitch does. So you can do hems, and you can do top stitching. You can do all sorts of things like that. And you can move the fabric underneath the needle. It doesn't get cut off. It doesn't get tangled. It's not like the serger in that way. It's a perfect straight stitch. You can do one needle, two needle, or three needle in one I have, and then it has a one looper. So it's a little bit different than a serger. It's much easier to thread than a serger for sure, unless you are lucky enough to have an air thread one, which I am not. I have just a basic Janome that threads the old-fashioned way. So yes, I think it's worth the expense. The twin needle was almost as good, except I had to have the pressure, the needle. Okay, there's my mind. I had to have the needle pressure exactly right, and the presser foot, presser exactly right for the twin needle to do really well without like sort of sliding. So on the cover stitch, though, it's stretchable and it's really, you can not near as finicky, I guess is the word. So I did a little research then, and I decided I didn't want to go. I would love to jump in and get, a baby lock or, one of the more expensive ones, but not knowing how much I would use it, and thinking to myself that it really only has one purpose. I didn't want to spend a lot of money. So I did some research, and I found that actually this little brother that I bought has higher ratings than the Janome ones do. And they're people who, just said that they don't have problems with it. It does feel a little bit more plastic than my other machines, but I actually love this little machine. I bought the Brother 2340 CV, and it was $300, which is amazing for a cover stitch, and it's worth every penny. So I hope that helps. I have been using it and using it and using it. I just made this South Shore romper for my little granddaughter who's 3. And I used the cover stitch on the hems, and it was, just super easy to turn it up and just go, and it's kind of serged like on the other side and top stitch really beautiful on the outside. And then the rest of it was pretty much put together by Serger. I did use this machine to baste a couple times, but other than that, it was all done on the serger and cover stitch. So this is a funny story. So you're going to see in my video this week that I made 2 South Shore rompers for my granddaughter who turned 8. And she's so cute. Anyway, this fabric was initially bought for that. Well, I didn't check the length of the legs before I cut, which I should have. My daughter, and I support her 100%, has super, I wouldn't say strict, but she's really pays attention to guidelines as far as how long things are on the girls. She has 3 girls, and, she's got, good standards, not overzealous at all, but, just to make sure that the girls are covered. And at 8, they start getting into that age where you need to start teaching them to be careful. Well, I cut it out, and it was not long enough for that. So I was devastated. I didn't have enough to cut the legs out again. So I put it off to the side. And then when I was done with both of her rompers, I used other fabric. I thought, well, I can cut out a 4 from those pieces. So that's what I did. And this is for Dottie, my little, she turned 3 on the 12th. So that's one of the May birthdays. And I made her the Anna dress from Frozen, from the Ellie and Mac Princess capsule. But she's just going to get this extra the next time I see her, because I didn't want to throw away that fabric, and that's about all I could really do with it. So it was real easy to just, print those size 4 pieces and just lay them on and cut around the pieces that were cut out. So, things don't always work the way that you want them to, but they work out anyway. Let's see. Beach Baby says, I want the brother too. Linda says, I recently purchased a panties pattern from Pamela's Patterns. Pamela's Patterns, and I'm really looking forward to making it. You can make regular panties or a shaper. Awesome. Dorothy says she sews by hand. Oh, for elastic? I see that some. Jillo says, do you have any suggestions for sewing elastic together? I always seem to get a nest of thread underneath. One thing I would do is use use a hump jumper if you can. I'm all over with my words today. Sorry about that. This is a hump jumper, and I use these. You just put this underneath from behind, and see the opening there for the needle to get started. Since elastic is so narrow, it's just going to be pulled down into the feed dogs. So if you put that there, it'll keep the presser foot level, and you won't have that happen. So I use this 90% of the time when I start anything on a slippery, slinky, or narrow thing. And also heavy, because you can also put it in the back and level out when you need to jump over a seam, like on jeans or something. I've also done butting the elastic up next to each other and using a really wide zigzag, just zigzag that across. That's really nice, especially on the underwear. Just butt it up next to each other. You have to kind of be finicky about it when you get it under there. And then just go real slow and use a super wide zigzag, but really close together, almost a satin stitch. And just, and it makes a really nice look on the undies. So. Beach Baby. I did so much research, and I ended up with the brother, and you'll love it. You really will. Angela says, I bought the Vivace top pattern, and I'm having all kinds of problems. When I put the 2 rows together, it doesn't lay flat. Is it something that I'm doing or have done wrong? By 2 rows together, do you mean the V part here? I'd have to see it, because I have not had any problem with it. So if you want to take a picture of it and email me, I can see if I can help you with it. It's hard to know how it looks. I don't want to give you advice and be, all off on what I think it could be. So just, if you would, take a couple pictures of what's going on and then email it to me, and I'll see if I can help you with that. Let's see. Heidi says, that's really good information and a great price. I always feel super guilty about spending lots on sewing machines and would feel really bad if it just sat and was, yeah, exactly. That's how I felt too. I didn't want to buy something that only had one use and spend $1,000 on it and then end up not really using it. So I thought, if I buy this one and I use it a lot and I feel I need to upgrade at some point, then, I'm sure I'll use it $300 worth before that would happen. So it was nice. And it was nice to have a new toy to play with during this isolation time too. Oh, thank you. Aren't these colors gorgeous together? I wish I wanted this for me, kind of. Not the romper, but the fabric. I might order some more. It's from Girl Charlie. And this, when I saw it online, I thought, oh, that purple and purple stripe will go together well, and it actually does really well. So yeah, I may order myself some more of that, because I'd really like to have a top out of that. Elastic just takes a lot of practice. Very true. Very, very true. Libby says, I made the Misty Cami, but the fabric's really static and sticks to my tummy. Not sure what composition it is, but woven. Any idea what I can do with that? Hairspray? Somebody said if you spray hairspray on your garments, they won't stick to you. I don't know that there's much you can do about it with the fabric makeup. It just kind of is what it is. But there's static guard and things like that to keep it from clinging. It would defeat the purpose to wear a cami underneath it, but that would probably help. To wear a cami underneath a cami probably wouldn't be very comfortable. B-Max says, I have the Baby Lock Ovation, great serger, and the cover stitch on it is also wonderful, no problems. I've had it for 3 years now, and I use it often. Good. I have not ever had a Baby Lock, but I know that people who have them say that they are incredible. So I would definitely, I love my Genomes though. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I would really jump ship, but if it was a good deal and it was a good machine, I might. I mean, because it's really all about, what works for you. And you can't get hung up on names, except that when you have a good experience with a company, then you tend to stick with it. So I've always had superb luck with my Genome things. So I just tend to look there first, but I'm not above buying a Baby Lock. And the Brother's actually the first one that I ever bought that was not Genome. But I'll tell you, I really like it. I like it a lot. Beck's never buying knickers again now. I can make them. Exactly. I feel the same way because they're so expensive in the store. And I had this only one brand that I liked, and they were like $6 a piece or something. Is ridiculous. So, yeah, I like boy, I can't talk today. I like making them much more. Patricia says, I have the Evolution Serger from Baby Lock and love it. After trying my grandma's old serger, I decided I'd never use a serger unless it was air thread. I'm not patient enough. I have discovered a way, though, to thread my serger that if I'm really careful, I don't have to deal with threading the loopers each time. And you just have to tie, you know what, I could show that to you guys because it really saves me a lot of time. You just tie the existing looper thread onto the next roll, and you make sure it's not going to come apart, because when it goes through the loopers, if there's any ease in it, it's going to pull right apart. And then you take it out of the presser foot, pull it down until it gets not presser foot, presser discs, until it gets down below that. And then you crank it back one rotation, and then you can pull the threads, with the presser foot up. You pull the threads, and you just pull really carefully, and it'll pull right on through the looper, and then you've got it threaded. So I do one thread at a time to do the lower and upper looper. And then, of course, the needles, then you just thread those. So it works really well, and about every 5 or 6 times I do it wrong and have to do the old way. And it's always when I'm in a hurry and need to get something done. But Murphy's Law, right? But it really does save me a lot of time. I wish I had an air threaded one. That's on my wish list majorly, but it's not in the cards at the moment. So, I need to find out what Angela was referring to here. Oh, the actual paper pattern doesn't line up? Yeah, send me a picture, and maybe it could be, have you checked the square that it's 1 inch on there? Could be a printing thing. Yeah, why don't you send me a picture and I'll see, and I could even send it to Tammy and see, because maybe there's a problem that she hasn't seen or something. Libby says, hi, Kim. I made the oh, we already said that. Okay. Hi, Alicia. Good to see you here. Wow, I did not know where you lived today. Lucky me. I was just live today. I was just going back to watch the old videos with Love Notions, as I bought so much with your link. Oh, thank you so much for doing that. Yeah, I can't wait to see what you make. I love following your Instagram, Alicia. Yeah, I Love Notions is Yeah, my very favorite patterns, as you guys know. I also love Ellie and Mac. Those two are my favorite. Um, I like 5 out of 4, and I like. And there's a lot of other ones I kind of like, but the ones I go to over and over, go to, are those two companies. My Not For Me May video is pretty much all Ellie and Mac, and I didn't even realize it. And I went, oh, this could be actually kind of a Ellie and Mac focused video because all of them. This is the South Shore Romper, and I made 3 of these, 2 for my other granddaughter and this one for Dottie. And then I made the pedal top for my mother-in-law, and I made, what else did I make? And my mind's blanking now. Oh, I've made the Chapman cardigan for my daughter. So yeah, I've made a lot of Ellie and Mac this month. So I'll be sharing those in a video this week for sure. I just have the good Serger threading tips because I get so frustrated and I do searches and see what other people are doing. And the last way that I just told you is to make sure that tension is, not, make sure your presser foot's up and that you don't go through the tension discs, and do that 1 cycle rotation so that you can just pull those threads, and you just pull really slowly. And once in a while, like with the upper looper, it'll break right at that needle or whatever. It's not really a needle, but the little prong there. And, but if it does that, I mean, you can really carefully thread that and keep going as long as you don't disturb what thread is on top of what thread, underneath. So it has to be done in order. So you do right, left, and right, middle, left, left. God gave us overlock sergers to teach us patience. Yeah, no doubt. Bernadette, hi, nice to see you. Teresa, I don't have a air thread serger. I also do not. I also do the tie-on method. Took a little time to learn this, but worth it. Yes, I get frustrated with it at first, but now it's, like I said, about every 5 or 6 times I end up having to rethread it. But usually it's not because I didn't do it right. Usually it's because I left a pin in and then it got all, if you leave a pin in and try to serge and it gets under the blade just a little bit, oh, it's just a terrible mess to have to figure out. Take your pins out. Let's see. Itch to Stitch are one of my favorites. If they have cup sizes, I'm sold. I love Itch to Stitch as well. I've not made as many of theirs, but I do love them. They're very good drafting. Alicia, I've never tried Eli patterns. I always needed patterns that have bust sizes. You mean Ellie and Mac? I think that's what you mean. I have not needed to do full bust adjustments to their patterns because they're sort of drafted for curvy people. So you might try one. Did you guys lose my sound for a few minutes? I just noticed my my microphone lost power, so hope can you hear me all right? Just let me know in the comments if you will. The video didn't help you, Marcia. Yeah, we'll talk. Give me a call and we can talk through beginning to end. And I've done it a ton, so I'm sure we'll figure it out. Oh yeah, you meant Elliot Mack. Okay. Laura. Hi Dorothy. I'm new to your channel. I'm not new to sewing, but pants are worth a waste of fabric. Question: which is your favorite pants pattern and why? Hi Laura. I'm Kim. Dorothy's my mom. And but that's okay because I've a lot of people call me Dorothy because of the channel. I'm actually Kim. My mom, the channel is in honor of my mom who taught me to sew when I was really young. My favorite pants pattern, it depends on what kind of pants. Jeans, I like the Tessa jeans from Seamwork. Knit slim pants, I like the Sabrina Slims from Love Notions. And the woven pants, I go between the duet trousers. If I want a dressy, like work casual trouser, like to wear to church, or you know, just something a little more dressy, I like the duet trousers. And then for like a stretch, almost, I don't wear leggings, but it's like almost a legging. That's what I really like about them. They're slim, like leggings, but they don't cling. The Sabrina Slims. And then, oh, and the woven ones would be the Allegros that actually just got re-released, and I made a video about those on Friday, so you can go back and watch that if you want to. Can you hear me now? Okay, sound is back. Thank you. Sorry about that. I have this microphone set up that is a wireless thing, and I forgot to plug it in the other day, and so it's a rechargeable, and it just died in the middle. Sorry about that. Let's see. Sally says, yes, I thought it was me. No, I messed up and didn't get my, I hope it's loud. Am I loud enough? Because I feel like without this I might not be, but okay. So we'll have to proceed without it. Yeah, I am keeping it real. You guys, I'm not very, I'm a lot better when I can edit out all my goofs, but this is it on me. A lady emailed me the other day, and she had counted how many times I said and decided that it was her job to tell me. And now I just think it's funny, but it was a little bit hurtful at the time. But it's something I'm working on to be more fluent in my speaking. Not just here, but you know, I'm a worship leader, and I get up there and I talk, and my words just fumble out, and then I'll go, what did I say? So it's good practice for me to be live, and you know, you got to be yourself, because if I think about it too much, then I won't be myself. So there's like a balance, but I'm working on it. I really am. Yeah, it was you know, I just think that we're all the same, and if you try to be something you're not, that's when people aren't going to listen to you. So you know, I don't know, she told me I said it 110 times in an 18-minute video, so it was interesting. But you know, you just really can't cut them all out because you miss half the video. And I don't know, it's just how I talk, I guess. I'm working on it. Now you guys are known. Alicia, now you're gonna notice them. Alicia says, I never noticed but that was not nice. But now you're gonna notice them because I told you that probably, but sorry about that. She must have a lot of time on her hands. Well, that's kind of what I said, you know, like I appreciate constructive emails, like, you know, gosh, do you know how much you say that? Maybe you should work on it, something like that. I mean, I've been in creative business for most of my life. I was a photographer and ran my business for 19 years. And, you know, I worked with brides, and, you know, sometimes some people are just, you can't please them. And I know that. But also, sometimes people have some really valid criticisms, and you don't want to just throw that out. So you try to glean what you can from it and go on and not let it destroy you, but also learn from it. And so, you know, nice letters like that are constructive, but when you start like counting my transgressions, then that's just a little over the top. So, but I just didn't, I tried not to let it get me down. So I'm just laughing at it now because I'm picturing this lady sitting there with a little ticker, like whatever. Yeah, I've seen Tamlin do that. She's so cute. Who doesn't love her, right? She's so adorable, and she's even more adorable pregnant. I can't wait to see that baby. Anne says, I'm going through the same. I'm a teacher and I've had to video myself teaching. I don't bother editing either, and my special needs kids never say a word about it. Who needs social skills? Ah, I know what you mean. I love the way you speak. I cannot imagine anyone saying anything critical. Oh, thank you so much, Judith. I appreciate that, but I do know there's always things I can work on. Peggy, I never noticed any ums. Keep on with the sewing encouragement that you do for us. Thank you, and I accept those hugs lovingly. Um, Doing live videos is harder than it looks. It is, but it's also fun because I love interacting with you guys, and I feel like I'm better equipped to make the videos that you guys want to see by talking to you. So, you know, because I've gotten some really good ideas, like about the online fabric stores. I'm going to do that. People want more. That people suggested the undie sew along in a chat, and I was able to do that. So I'd rather, you know, get online and chat with you guys and find out what you really need instead of, you know, just trying to guess by how many views. And because, you know, not everybody subscribes that watches, and not everybody, you know, you can go by that, but there's also some people who never will, you know, there's probably feedback I can get from this that I could never get any other way. Um, Thank you, Libby. I really appreciate that. Um, yeah. So, what are you guys making this week? Are you doing Me Made May? Have you been? I know Alicia's doing Me Made May because I'm seeing her Instagrams. Um, Love watching your outfits. You sew such pretty things, Alicia. If you don't follow her, you should. Sewing in Dubai. So, sewing Dubai, is that what it is? Or sewing in. Anyway, she's fun to follow. Thank you, Dot. I appreciate that. Off the topic, but I wanted to ask, I believe we have the same kind of narrow shoulder issues. Do you have trouble with set-in sleeves? Mine hang off my shoulders and feel uncomfortable. Yes, it's one of the reasons I can't stand ready to wear. It's always down here. And I used to just put up with it with patterns, believe it or not, and it took me forever to realize I could do something about that. So what I do, and I did a whole video on it, so you can go watch, and I actually demonstrated it, but it's in the Friday Sewing School videos. But I have, like, I'm almost only a medium right here, and then the rest of me is all extra large. So I cut the neck and shoulders in medium, and then you copy the arm side of the larger size, and then you kind of, you know, hook that up with the medium at the shoulders so that the rest of it is all the right size, and it works wonderfully on me. It corrects the slope to be at the right place, and it it made my day. I mean, it just completely revolutionized the way clothes fit me. So if you want to go watch that video, it's been probably 6 or 7 months ago, and it's in the Friday Sewing School playlist, so it's right down there. Let's see. A huge amount of work doing vlogs with the frequency you do. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Anessa, I missed the beginning because my son and I were out delivering a COVID fairy bag. Like, it's like knock knock, ginger but with presents. How fun! What a wonderful thing to do. I should do some of that. I haven't done much of that, I'm sorry to say. Patrice, my sister's birthday's Wednesday, and so I'm finishing a bomber jacket that I made her in brocade. That's beautiful, I bet. You'll have to share that so I can share it in the viewer makes. Mrs. Mike, I finally got my Sabrina Slims to fit well. Yay! Aren't they wonderful? I love that pattern. Third time was a charm, but I'm hoping that going forward I can try other pants now. So yes, once you get that curve corrected, then you will know that 90% of the time, you, especially if you go to another Love Notions patterns, you can know that correction that you'll probably have to make across the board on all of her patterns. I always have to add a little extension to the back crotch, just that little bit, and then that keeps it from bunching. Because I've done testing with her, and I tested the Sabrina Slims and I tested the new Allegros, and both of them I had that bunching until I just added that little bit of extension. I'm hoping to start my Love Notions as soon as they are delivered. Oh, did you order paper patterns? Oh, you probably had them printed. I have not ever done that. I've only ever printed my patterns on the printer. What type of fabric did you use for the shorts part of your skirt? Oh, it was something I just had on my shelf, and it was kind of a peach skin, really lightweight woven. Yeah, I guess it would be a peach skin. Not quite as, not, it's like board short material, but not quite as thick. So I think it's some kind of, I think it's called peach skin. I picked it up at a warehouse, so I didn't have the exact, content of it, but I think it was peach skin. It's a little bit breathable, and it feels like a slip, so that's kind of good for what I used it for. Let's see. You're doing me made and me made charades too. Oh, you're doing me made and me made charades too. Me and a couple Instagram pals have been putting up a charade of a song or film or book hidden in our Me Made May photos. How fun! Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to look that up. That is so cool. And I'm making some scrub tops for a friend that I lifted a pattern from her favorite scrub top. Oh, that's a fun thing to do. Just kind of, you can rub it, on tracing paper, or, there's lots of different ways to do that. I've done that with favorite tops that I've had before. The design with the V-neck and back neck finish was a puzzle, but I'm learning. Rhonda says, hello, Kim. I'm not sewing this week. I'm setting up my new sewing area. How fun. Once you get an area that works for you, and you can just go to town. It's great. I think I had a Facebook reminder a couple days ago that and it was the first tour of this room that my husband did for me, because it was a Mother's Day present, and I think it said 5 years ago. And now I'm looking at it, and it's changed a lot. I added another machine. I added a desk over there with a printer. I added these shelves back here, but it's just my space. It's like, this is my she shed. And I love it. It's crowded, kind of, because it's just, I have a lot of stuff, but I still love it. Do you know of any men's shirts patterns? I need to make a Hawaii style shirt for a man. I think 5 out of 4 has a Hawaiian shirt, if I'm not mistaken. I did a Hawaiian shirt, but I used the simplicity pattern that I used for all my husband's shirts. It's 8753, I think. Hang on, I can tell you the exact number. But it's the same one that I used for the men's dress shirt sew along. And all I did was just cut off the sleeves and extend the bottom so that it was the straight bottom with a vent, and it worked really well. He doesn't like them to be huge on him, but he's kind of a bigger man, so I made him a shirt that was all guitars, which was fun for him. I have not sewn the lyric dress, Laura. I want to. It's just not one of the ones I've gotten around to. There is a sew along. Yep, it starts tonight. That's right. Um, and it's wonderful. What is board short material? Been seeing this in print, but not familiar with it. I guess the thing I would, if you know men's swim trunks, how it's sort of a soft, but um, sort of like cotton. It's microfiber, but it's a lot of men's swim trunks use it. So I don't know if that helps. It's like a cotton, but not. I have some here, I think. This is men's board short, or for my husband's swim trunks. This is board short material. It's like, it's thicker, almost silky, but not, on this side it just feels like a any old charmeuse or silky kind of fabric. On this side it's soft and almost brushed. So, but it's for usually men's swim trunks. But peach skin is kind of like that, but it's really lightweight. So that's what I ended up making it out of. I just had some. I was looking for something black because I didn't have enough of the fabric that I made the skirt with. Otherwise, I would have cut it out of the same fabric that I made the skirt part of the skirt. Okay. Alrighty. Do you so okay? Trying to catch up here. Oh, Hide and Silk made about 20 sets of scrubs for our hospital and was a bit scrubbed out after. I bet. That is just awesome, though. I haven't made any. I wore them for lots of years, so I don't have a huge desire to make them, but I would if they were needed, I guess. Angela, for those of us that are just starting to sew again, can you tell me which is easier for the Vivace top, knit or woven? I think the knit is easier for especially the little placket area, but you would probably learn more if you use the woven. So if you want to learn, do the woven. If you want to, if you want it to be more of a fast thing, then you can use a knit. But learning how to do plackets with a woven is a good skill. So I think it looks really nice in woven. I've thought about making it out of linen. I haven't done that yet. Libby, have just bought the Allegro. Really want to make that skirt. Isn't there a skirt in? Yes, there's a skirt. In fact, in my video, I made the skirt and put the shorts together. So I made a skirt out of it. But it could just have easily have been left a skirt. The fabric I was using was a really lightweight rayon challis, and I felt like I needed something underneath it, and I hate slips, so I just added a skirt to it. Peggy says, I'm making matching shorts top set for my 5-year-old granddaughter. It's a cute underwater print in bright colors. Oh, how cute. I want to see that. I love kids' clothes. I love sewing kids' clothes. Yes, Teresa, Karina has a video for sure on the lyric dress. I think she's done several, actually. I think she made it into, she hacked it. I can't remember what the hack was now. You, Karina, Tamlin, and Jane from Loopy Mabels are my top picked sewing blogs. Thank you. I'm in good company. I like that. Yeah, Alicia, and I apologize ahead of time about the men's shirt because I didn't get all the way done. And I need to just go and put up the rest of the video for that. We got about 75% done. I think we had one or two more videos to go. And then it was time to start my Mexico wardrobe. So I put it on hold and did the Me Made Mexico stuff. And then I didn't get to go to Mexico. So I haven't really gotten back to it, but I should probably go back and add the last couple videos to that. So I'll do that. It's still sitting back there. My husband's working at home right now, so he's not wearing it either. So Dorothy made Simplicity men's shirt for my husband. Loves it so much. I'm going to make more. Good. I think that men don't realize how good their clothes can fit until we make them, and then they're really want more. So yeah, my husband likes the shirts I make him. Last year I made him 2 of those Simplicity 8753 shirts, short sleeve, for his birthday. This year I haven't done it yet. His birthday was May 6th, but in all the May birthdays and everything going on, I didn't get his done yet. But this is his. These are going to be the men's swim trunks from 5 out of 4, and I'm looking forward to doing those. And I will definitely do a video because this is actually something I've not done before, is men's swim trunks. So I'm not afraid to do them. It looks pretty easy, but I will put up a video for sure. Fabric Fairy has fabric specifically for board shorts. They do. I got this on Etsy. I think it's knitfabric.com and on their Etsy. And it was really not too expensive. But yeah, Fabric Fairy has it as well. Bernadette had made some masks in one outfit, which was really not really very good. I'm probably going to cut it up and make some more masks. Also in the boat on No Sewing Friends. I'm with you as far as the Sewing Friends go in the area. I have a couple. The one, Marsha, that's been on here today. And I also have Kathy, who's a subscriber that contacted me and said, hey, do you know that I live? She actually lives in the town that I used to live in, Sylvania, which is really close here. And we met for coffee and we keep in touch. So it's fun. Patricia says, my husband is super long torso. He really appreciates it when I make him shirts. He's helping me set up a sliding sewing projector right now. Oh, I need to do that so bad. I would love to have I have the projector from my photography days. Really nice projector for present. I used to teach sewing, or not sewing. I used to teach photography workshops, and I had it for presentations. So, I mean, I could easily adapt that one, but I have a ceiling fan up here, and I'm afraid I wouldn't be able, and I need the fan in here because it gets stifling because of where it is in the house. So I'm not sure how I would do a projector above this table, but I'm, where there's the invention, necessity is the mother of invention. See, I get all my words mixed up, but you know what I mean. I love sewing men's shirts. They're so straightforward and you don't need to fit in the sleeves. True. That's true. Vanessa, I will get my printed Rhapsody blouse pattern this week, hoping to try to get it sewn before I move. Where are you moving to? In the same area? Or are you moving to a different state? Or it's a hard time to move, I'm sure. That'll have restrictions everywhere and the way you probably have to clean, and it'd be probably kind of rough. I very rarely set in sleeves. I always sew on the flat. Me too. I actually have a whole video about that. I use clear elastic to put in a set-in sleeve, or if it's pretty straightforward, you can just do it without anything by kind of, if you make your pins, so if you're going along a seam, let me just show you on this. So if you're going along on a seam, and so you've got the, like, pretend this is a set-in sleeve. If you just pick up that very little bit and pin this way, that way, because if you do this way, you're messing with that much of it then. But if you do that, and you can just get them right where they need to be, and then it's pretty easy to sort of just ease them in. Not as easy as the clear elastic though. I used that trick, and I have a whole video on that. So that was one of my, I think that within the first 3 or 4 months of starting the channel, I did that video. Let's see. Patricia, I'll have to see if I can make a video showing how we're doing it. I'll have access anywhere in the room I want. And extra hangers for video and sound. Wow. I love that. I hope you do make a video and show us, because I'd love to do that. Want to get the Rhapsody blouse this week. Yep, it's a great pattern. I've made 2 of them, and I made the old one and then the new one, and I made the old one long sleeve, and I hardly wear it, so I think I'm actually going to cut the sleeves off and just have a cap sleeve on it instead. I made it long sleeve, and I just don't wear long sleeves. I have too many hot flashes. I very rarely wear long sleeves, even in the winter. Let's see. I will be going back to the clear elastic video. Anything to help with sleeves. Yeah, they can be a nemesis. They used to be mine, but I've since discovered ways to do it. So the one thing about things like that is once you conquer them, you just feel really good, you know. So you'll figure it out, whatever works for you, the best way. I've also seen sticking your finger behind the, butting your finger up behind the presser foot, and so it just kind of gathers a little bit when it's going through. That's a really rough thing, but I bet you know what I mean by when I do that. And then it'll kind of gather itself when you do, your stay stitching or whatever, your gathering stitch. And then it's pretty easy to shape them into place then too. But the clear elastic's really easy, because essentially it turns it into putting a sleeve in like on a knit. So if you like putting sleeves into knits the flat way, you can do any sleeve like that if you just put some elastic in it. Difficult to explain how to do it, but sleeve goes against the feed dogs, and then you use your left hand to pull the sleeve so the edge is neat. Yeah, I think you're talking about similar way. I think I've seen demonstrated a couple places. It works for sure. Sometimes I do it that way, and most of the time I use my clear elastic because I don't know. I try to do things as easy as I can. It depends on how much I want to mess with it. The thing about the clear elastic is, though, that you do have to tear it out, because it does create bulk here if you don't. So I always do tear it out after I make the seam. Yep. Cool. So has anybody done Me Made May, or tried to do it? I do, as I said, I'm doing Not For Me Made May because I have so many birthdays. But I am going to do a Not For Me Made May video for Me Made May, because that's what I do. I mean, in May is I sew for other people because it's all the birthdays, and I don't have time to sew for myself too much. So, all right. Well, did anybody have any questions? I'll probably be wrapping this up pretty soon. I try to keep them to right around an hour. But if you have suggestions, questions, or anything that I can answer for you, I could try to do it in an upcoming video if I can't explain it now. And yeah, just feel free to jump in here with your questions. I'm working full-time, so finding time to photograph and post daily is a lot harder than I thought, but I've been wearing Me Made daily. Yeah, for me, it's almost hard not to wear Me Made because I don't shop anymore pretty much for clothes. So I only have a few things in my closet that are not Me Made. So which is nice. It's a nice feeling because that means everything in my closet fits well, which is a goal. I tried, but lacked motivation with nowhere to go. I know what you mean. It's hard. It is hard. I loved going to my daughter's the other day because I got to get all dressed up. And yeah, I was going to tell you, thank you guys for getting me out of my old VBS t-shirt and sweatpants today and actually putting on something nice and putting a little makeup on. So I thank you all for that. Thank you, Alicia. I hope you um, definitely come back for all of them. Yeah, spring snacks. I love that. I look what my husband found. My favorite thing is Coke Zero, and he found me some caffeine-free Coke Zero, which is like amazing. So I'm addicted. Sorry. This is not at top. It's a dress. It's it's a McCall's pattern that's probably retired. I can look up the number, but I think it's retired by now. It and this knit was from Hancock when it closed. So Hancock Fabrics, I miss them so much. They were such a great fabric store. Thank you, Anne. I always do have fun with you guys. It kind of is my highlight of my week. Doing the other videos, I'm all by myself. So I like this because I have company and I get to talk to my friends. And I do really feel like we're all just sitting around a big table drinking coffee or pop or whatever. Thank you so much, Bex. Thank you, Linda. Hi, Kathleen. How do you get the hem even on a dress or skirt when you don't have anyone to help? There's a Gizwiz that you can get that will spray a chalk line. I have one, but it's kind of buried back here. And then you can actually do that yourself because it's like a ball that you squeeze, and then it just, you find where you want it to be, and then you just rotate it around it, and it squeeze like there's a chalk line all around. And that's probably the good way of doing it if you don't have someone else. Thank you, Angela. It's a McCall's. Wish I could remember the number, but I'll put it in the comments after. I'll look it up when we're done and put it in the description of the video when it gets up there. Thank you, Patricia. I really enjoy being with you guys, and I hope you don't mind that I'm just myself. This is the real me. As even with all my and mixing up words and fumbling dead space when you don't know what to say, all that, I still have a blast. So it's I measure from my waist if there's a weight. Oh yeah, good idea, Anne. I guess though I kind of have what some people would call a bubble butt. So the back is always going to need to be probably a tad longer, or it will be uneven. So I probably have to measure from the floor, but not everybody would have to do that. Thanks, Alicia. I appreciate that. I miss Hancock too. At the time they closed, I heard another fabric store wanted to buy them, but the bankruptcy judge said no. I know. I heard that I think Michael's ended up buying them, but they don't have it in the stores. They just have it on their website. And it's nowhere near the same prices or the same quality of anything. They had really top quality fabrics and the best sales ever. Like, they blew Joann's out of the water as far as sales go. And we had one like less than maybe 2 miles from our house. Literally, I was there every day. And they would have senior days where they were, and I was over 55 then, but I'm over 60 now. But you could literally get 25% on top of their sales with the senior discount. So I would save everything up and go on senior day and just buy a bunch of stuff for next to nothing. Thank you very much. Granaboo, are you a grandma to 3? Is that how you got your thing? That's cool. Thank you, Hide and Silk. Is your name Heidi or what? I don't know what your real first name is. So if you let me know, I don't want to just keep calling you hide and silk, I guess. I loved Hancocks and really missed them. Any tips on preventing thread nests? Um, Change your needles. Look for any rough spots on your throat plate. Sometimes there's rough spots. Use your hump jumper when you're starting on, especially on finer fabrics. If it's slippery or thin or anything, if you just get started with this, once it's going, then it's okay. That's another way. And keep your machine clean, the bobbin area cleaned out, the right needle. And don't use cheap thread. I guess those would be the top suggestions I would have. Hope that helps a little bit. Let's see. Thank you, Bex. Thank you, all of you. I'm gonna probably hang up here and go start working on my next videos. I hope to have one up either tomorrow or Wednesday, one of the two. And that one's going to be my Not For Me Made May. And I'm gonna go through all the gifts I made. So that'll be a fun one. And then I'm going to be doing the top online fabric stores. And I have a couple other things in the bag here waiting to film. They're ideas on paper right now, but they'll be videos eventually. So, and I love to do pattern reviews, so I'm sure I'll be doing those more and more as well. So, I'll be doing the men's swim trunks soon too. Teresa, thank you very much. And but all of you, thank you, all of you. I guess I can't name you all by name, but I really appreciate all of you for spending part of your afternoon with me, and I will see you guys in the other videos, and hopefully next week, Sunday. We'll be back to Sunday, and at 3 o'clock Eastern, and I will have, I'm going to have grandkids overnight, but I think I'm going to ask my son to bring them after 4 so that doesn't interfere with the chat. So I will be here 3 o'clock on Sunday, and bring your questions always. Feel free. That's one of the reasons we do this. We all learn together. I learn from you guys, and you learn hopefully a little bit from me. And that's what we do. Like the Bible says, iron sharpens iron, so we help each other. And that's what I want this to be. So have a wonderful day, and I will see you all soon. Happy sewing.